In this section, we will review in general terms the training of a transformer. We can define three stages in the process of training a transformer. The stage number one is the pre-training. This is when we take a brand new transformer model and we train it from scratch. The second stage is the fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is the process of teaching the model one task. For this, we use a dataset specific to that task or domain, like question and answers in finance, or summarization of books. And then we run the fine-tuning process to adjust the weights of the model to optimize them on the desired task. We will see that there are methods that don't change the model weights, but instead create additional weights that are trained with the new dataset. Finally, in stage 3, which is in many cases optional, we do the alignment with human preferences. This is also known as RLHF or RLAIF. So let's review each one of these stages one by one. As shared in the pre-training, we start from scratch. The model doesn't have any knowledge of the world. In this stage of training, the data set size is usually 10 times the number of parameters of the model. For instance, if we have a model of around 1 billion parameters, then we should think about a data size of about 10 to 20 billion tokens. If we compare that with fine-tuning, we will only need a few hundred up to a few 100,000 samples, which is much less than the pre-training needed. Finally, in RLHF, we may need between 1,000 and 1,000,000 samples, varying on the type of task and the model size. So, as you can see, the dataset can change in size dramatically depending on the stage of training. Next, the data included in the dataset. In the case of the pre-training, we usually use diverse and general datasets to build foundational knowledge on the model. In the fine-tuning, on the contrary, we want very specific and relevant data to target the desired task. And also in the RLHF, we usually include very specific data, which includes human feedback or evaluations done by humans, and nowadays by other transformers. Regarding computational resources, pre-training a model takes a lot of computing, while fine-tuning and RLHF may not need that much. In time, pre-training a model may take weeks or even months, and it will consume a lot of power. In fine-tuning, it's very short. It can take from hours to weeks. Also in RLHF, we can be seeing times between hours and days. What takes a lot of time in RLHF is the creation of the dataset, because it needs to be evaluated by humans, and that is a task that will take a long time. And then you have other variables here, like the model adjustment, the training process, and the tools and techniques for each one of these training phases that will show you how different each one of these are. But in general, you will usually start with a base model. Depending on the task, if you want a classification task, you may start with BERT. If you want a completion task, you may want to start with a GPT-2 model or one of the open source models available in Hugging Face. And with these base models, what you do is you fine-tune it with the task that you need.